Hi folks, it's been a while since my last video. Been busy preparing cars for the 10th Suzuka Double Digital Event that happens in Best in the Netherlands. So I entered two cars and I prepared both cars or part of both cars, and I was the captain of team K9. I was there with two other teammates, Gary Skip and Wayne Lander, as I'm going to show later on some pictures that we took. Okay, so for those of you that do not know, so the Suzuka event is a double event, which means that we do two different type of racing. On Saturday we have the Disca GT3 races, so which are two races of 90 minutes each, and then on Sunday we have the 6 hours WEC race, and the spot guide that you see here is actually for that race. As you can see, there are 12 teams that actually race in the event, and for the GT3 these are the inter-series Discus kind of type of regulations that we used. And for the Sunday ones, the WC is a Disca based, which basically means that you have hypercars, LMP2s, and GT3 LM cars. So needless to say is that basically this event or this kind of events will be not possible without the oxygen system from Slot.it. So this is a digital race, and we use oxygen as the backbone for supporting these kind of events. No other digital systems are there that are able to support these large scale events. So kudos to Slot.it for keeping up with this system and with us complaining about it. Okay, so the first car that I would like to talk about is our GT3 entry. So I went after reproducing this Ferrari 488 GT3 Evo by Kessel Racing, and I used as a starting point a sideways, what they call Fantasy Car 1, a white kit to it that I painted decorated myself. So as usual, I start by collecting some information about the car, weight, basically the body. So we have a regulation to meet in terms of a minimum body weight of the overall car and of just the body of the car. So for the body, the minimum weight is 22 grams, and for the overall car, the minimum body weight, the minimum weight is 88 grams. So what I usually do is, because I like to install a lot of LEDs to replicate the actual lighting system of the real cars, is to start removing any materials from the body. So the starting point is pretty good, is 9.2 grams, but after using a Dremel, I brought down to 7 grams. If you put all the parts together here, you can see that the overall weight is around 14 grams, but after removing weights, I can bring it down to 11.65 grams. One of the biggest weight mass that are in the body I have in the CG is the interiors, which is basically the cockpit plus the engine bay, which is a massive 9 grams. So for this one, I have another solution how to make it lighter. So these are some pictures in while I'm painting and installing the LEDs and putting on decals. I prepare two bodies, but the main focus is the fluorescent yellow car. That is the one that I took to Suzuka. So I think the installing of LEDs and stuff like that, I think I've done these several times. I prepared also another car similar to this, so it was not a big surprise. The decals that I use for both cars are from MTR32, so from Milan, from Czech Republic actually. So For the interiors, as I say, this is where there is a lot of weight that can be saved. And what I do is I do vacuum forming. So I vacuum form myself, starting as a base or using as a buck the actual interior of the car, and they come up pretty good. So here you can see the final product after I've been kind of detail painting it and highlight some details. I used the original, at least the intention was to use the original roll cage, although I removed some materials from it in order to make it again a bit lighter weight because it's pretty tough or rough, let's say. And here are some picture of the car after I installed the LEDs and interior, so it's all kind of ready to go. So I was doing some kind of testings for seeing how the LEDs, how the LEDs basically look like before the final assembly. So putting the last details, and here you can see the cars actually with the overall mass of the body 21.3 grams, so there is still a 0.7 gram to be added, so which will be done later on with adding some lead. And here you have the actual chassis with all different components. I mean, nothing magical. I mean, as you can see here, we're using the NSR Baby King as stipulated by the rules. I'm using my own light kit, so it does not require to have stay alive function. So my light kit that I use or produce myself is more than sufficient for what we need to do here. And basically, yeah, the overall weight of the car is spot on at 88 grams. So how did we perform? So this is the actual car at the circuit. So we qualified third overall thanks to Gary Skip, and then for the two races. So race one we finished third, so with the first podium there, very close to the second slot race friends. I think it was like a matter of I don't know 5 meters maybe. 15 feet maybe distance between the two cars, and 5 laps behind the Pro Speed Academy. For race 2, so we improved our performance, so we finished second. It was still a closer race with the slot race friends. As you can see, there is just 1 lap different there. But yeah, we could not compete against the DTS 2.0, which is the local team here. So, but overall, yeah, the car was very reliable, very good, excellent car from sideways. I always like the GT3 cars, and the big improvement between race 1 and race 2 was that we went from 12.26 we moved to 12.24, which gave us a bit more speed. I believe the car would have taken a bit more than that, but I think it is what it is, so we can maybe improve next year. So for the WC, our engine was the Cadillac V Series R, based on the Scale Auto Cadillac. Again, as I do for all my builds, I start from reducing materials from the body in order to remove any dead weight that we don't need. Also doing some small modifications for increase or reduce high CG or weight in high spots of the car. So here is some pictures that I took during the painting and decaling. The final results, I mean, after putting paint and decals on the car, is that the weight is 8.37 grams, which is really good. Just half a gram increase, that is basically the paint weight and the decals and the clear at the end. The scheme is, I would say, pretty simple per se. I mean, there is a bit of the tricky part was making a transition between the black and the red. Could have done with decals, but I prefer to do by bending it and masking it, and also the transition here was done using not only fading the black but also using the smoke paint. Is something that I learned from Tamar. And this is again the interiors. So this is vacuum formed by myself based on the actual interiors, and as you can see, I mean, also painted, by hand and brush. Nothing crazy. Now for the LEDs, I mean, one of the main characteristic I think of this car is the let's say the long tail lights, the vertical tail lights. The way in which I replicate these was by installing several small LEDs, as you can see around here, both under the wing and in the elements here that are kind of rear diffuser of the car. It made the car look quite unique on the track, which is what you want with your lighting. And anything that you see as a light here is a replica, let's say, of the actual car. So there are no crazy lighting that I put there just because of adding an extra LED. So after adding all the LEDs, the wires and whatnot, so the car has like, I think, 32 LEDs, which is my personal record here. So one of the things that I want to do or address from last year race was to have some kind of redundancy, because last year our light kit failed, especially, I mean, what failed was the stay alive function. And I know why now. Anyway, so what I did was to have most of the LEDs, I would say 28 of the LEDs that are connected, so from the back connected to these resistors here, and connected to this cap for the stay alive function. And then as an extra measure for redundancy, I put an SP44 light kit from Slot.it, where I removed the cap and I put it on wire so that I could locate wherever I want and for better weight distribution. And I connected to this light kit 2 LEDs in the front and 2 LEDs in the back. And the 2 LEDs in the back also would function as our brake lights. And the power, so I connect everything to the actual power coming from the front of the car, so basically the front of the chip, which is basically track side, so the red and black, which basically drive most of the LEDs, and the yellow one here instead is driving the SP44, which give us in that case the brake lights. So, and when power is not applied to the car, so when the car is not going, the SP44 takes power from the cap, which also means that SP44, once the power is coming from the cap, so which means no power, let's say, coming from the track, so you see the light flashing. And here is a short video. So those 2 LEDs flashing are the one taking power from the SP44, as well as these 2 LEDs on the back, which actually is also brake lights. So when you brake, they become brighter, and they're flashing because again, the car is stationary, and the power from the SP comes from the motor side. So if I don't apply power to the car is going, those the SP44 is not being powered up except from the cap, and that's the flashing, while all the other LEDs, the other 28, are taking power from the brakes. Moving on, Here some more pictures. So for this car, or for this class of cars, the minimum weight is 72 grams. So that's what we'd like to achieve, with the body minimum weight being 20 grams. So as you can see here, basically we are over that that overall weight, and the main culprit was that I used the wrong chassis. So I'm using an SRP chassis, which is super heavy. So then I swapped to a carbon one, still from SRP, or carbon infused, let's say, which is much lighter, 4 grams, I think, lighter than the standard one. And so if you take the weight of the body being at 20 grams as minimum, so which means that the rest of the car, so chassis and every other elements, has to be at 52 grams. So here what we were able to achieve, or I was able to achieve, let's say with the flat 6, 44.5 or 54.6 actually grams. And putting the body with the actual limit, so bringing the body up to 20 grams by adding some lead here in the front, we're able to go just under 75 grams, which is pretty good for a Flex 6 LMP or hyper car. And so this is the car sitting actually on its chassis, ready to do some testing laps. And here the car at the Suzuka circuit. Here, this is a shot that Wayne took of the car. As you can see, we are running the number 3, which were decals that we added later on. And so the car, we qualified the 3rd again. So this again thanks to Gary Skip. As you can see here, the car has white chassis. So we were not using my SRP ones, but this is one that Wayne prepared. So the deal was that I worked on the GT3 car. I did the body and the chassis. And then I prepared the body for the WEC car and chassis. And Wayne was also preparing another chassis for the same car, and then merging them or checking which one of the two were the best. So at the end, we went for Wayne chassis. What happened in the end? So we finished 4th. So the car, I think, performed pretty okay. We didn't have any major issues, except at the end, last, I think, 20 minutes, I was on the rostrum. I was driving the car for the last 30 minutes, which was in the dark. This was what I like, but the car was losing performance, and in the end, basically, we lost the wheel when another car, I think the flying cars, basically merged or lane changed into our car, and the car went off the slot, of course, and the wheel was flying around. So we managed to put the wheel back. At the time, I was gaining. I mean, ProSpeed was in front of us, but I was kind of gaining on them. But then after this event, basically there was no way to recover. So we finished 4th. So ProSpeed is an LMP2 cars. So overall, as hypercar, we finished 3rd, with the DTS 2.0 being again the local team, and the SCA is the Belgium guys, also pretty competitive team. So overall, not too bad. And this the final pictures with the trophy that we took home. So 2nd, 3rd for the GT3, and 4th for the LMP or hypercar for the 6 hours. Anyway, I think this is it. So I'm gonna be putting later on other videos of light installations, how I do it, but this is for another time. So thank you for watching. Hope you had fun. If you like it, please leave a like and subscribe, and also leave a comment if you would like to see other kind of videos on how I prepare the cars. Thank you.